Right, so welcome back to another video beer review. Today we've got a beer coming out of Thornbridge and it is Brock. Now, we have reviewed this one before, but we've never quite done it as a creamer. So we're going to do it as a creamer and see what it's like. I had this actually on keg the other day. I was in Brum. I don't think I actually did it on tap, weirdly, but I was in Brum for the football. Birmingham playing Blackpool. Fucking terrible game. 0-0, ball draw, and I had a pint of this before going to the welly and everything. So yeah, I've had it as well before. I think I had it with Adam as well. I think I had it with Mersey Beers when I was. When he came up to Brum just before New Year's, and I actually found out the first time I ever had it before even having a can was at Indieman, which was the first and last time I ever got to go to Indieman. So yeah, so Brock, since 2005, Thornbridge, a hard pour nitro stout. Of course, this time we're going to go through the creamer. I'm also going to put a little bit in the other glass so we can use the beer dildo and see how that one works. But yes, there's Brock pours pitch black with a creamy tan head that lasts throughout. The aroma is rich and roasty with notes of dark chocolate, coffee and a hint of caramel on the palate. The beer is velvety smooth with a medium body and low carbonation. Expect flavours of dark roasted malts, coffee and bittersweet chocolate, while the nitro adds a decadent creaminess. So for me, this one's definitely a little bit more roasty than standard Guinness is, and it sits a bit more heavy as well. No one really talks about how a beer sits, but yeah, definitely sits heavier. But yeah, serve at 5 to 8 degrees C, hops are target, colour is black, taste is creamy, caramel, chocolate and coffee are the notes, and then the food pairing is oysters on the half shell. Instead, we have mushrooms with cheese and bacon, which I'm about to cook after this. This is my cooking beer. So let's crack it open. Just want to double check that the big boy's working. It is. So happy days. We'll wait for that to turn off again. I haven't used it actually since last time, since was it WKD or something like that, but it has been rinsed out, thank Christ. You can imagine that combo. Wait for it to come off and then we'll crack open the can, plonk it on and pour it out. And it's taking its time. It's taking its time. Come on, you bastard. Some nice old school drum and bass. There we go, almost dropped it. There we go, let's crack it open. And put it straight on. And then power it straight on. And let's go straight into this Tempest glass. See the little pulses? So be interesting to see. I wish I got 3 cans and then I could have done a versus. Well, 2 cans and did a versus straight off, but it's looking pretty fucking good, you know. I think compared to standard Guinness, well, compared to standard Guinness, that is doing a bit more. It looks pretty good, that. Still got a little bit left in the can. I think I'd like to try the Nitro Surge Guinness cans, but you can't get them at the minute. But that looks pretty bloody good, doesn't it? Looks pretty damn good. So, you know what that looks like. We're going to put the rest in the Camden Schmoo. But it's not going to be very much. Oh, because the bloody thing's gone off as well. Bar steward. Right. Oh, we got a bit of a pulse. Not very much of a one. But either way, we'll top it up with beer dildos. Right. So, got a little bit of a pulse in that. I think it was only fair to get a little bit of a pulse, but my God, that looks right good. That nice and creamy. Smells bloody good as well. We'll give the glass. There's not very much, of course, but I don't think you really need much with the beer dildo. And I just may need to test the big boy. But yeah, it's creaming. Not extreme cream. I can hear that pulsing. It's not liking the dildo quite as much. It's not liking it. It prefers the creamer. So the creamer's working well with it, it's not the dildo. So let's go on the creamer. Just looks fucking solid, that. Obviously a bit more volume. But yeah, smells really creamy. Dark chocolate. Roasty, definitely roasty. If you like a standard Guinness drink, I don't think you're going to necessarily like moving on to this because it's a lot more flavour. If you like maybe a Beamish or a... I'd say it's a little bit more saline than a Beamish. I think I really like a Beamish. I like the smokiness of it, but this is a touch more, but also has a relative level of salinity about it. Yeah, we'll dive in though. Cheers. I don't think it's quite as dry as what Guinness is through the creamer. Definitely much more malty, much smokier, much more chocolatey sort of notes. A little bit more roasty. But of that's a lot closer to what it's like when you have a Guinness or something out of a pub, rather than a standard Guinness can. It's missing elements of cream, but it's pretty bloody good. It's pretty good, and tanking through it as well. It's bloody lovely. Let's see what the dildo version is like in comparison. I don't think it's going to be quite as good. It's a bit flatter. It's a bit flatter. There's less cream to it. Obviously, there's not very much really in the glass. Let's give it one more, a fresh dildoization. You can kind of see, like, normally the dildo will have some action, but I don't think it's necessarily designed for this sort of thing. It's not really doing much. There's more acid techno playing now. No, it's not as good. I honestly think that's probably one of the best non-Guinness products I've put through the creamer, and it's worked really well. Get yourself a couple of cans of Thornbridge Brock and see what they're like through the creamer. I think that's really good. And look at it, it's still sitting around. That cream, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Let's sign it off with another sippy poo. Delicious, absolutely cracking. Lovely beer, Brock is. No, rate it above Guinness. I think Guinness is probably a slightly simpler beer than what this is. And to that gives it kind of slightly higher drinkability. I haven't had Guinness for a couple of weeks now, but the last time I had it, I had like 3 or 4 pints of it. Whereas that in the pub. Yeah. I think the drinkability is slightly less because it's got a little touch more flavour to it, but it's still bloody good. Anyway, see you next one. Cheers.